And I kept boarding into something that was more glass cannon than the main deck, which is also not a great sign for these being a good backup plan. This is even worse, the problem of having like a Text and Probe, Metamorphose, low land count decks. This could even be a keep, but I assume it's a mulligan on 7, but it's interesting how close this is to a keep with double Text and Probe. 18 lands. Because then I get... if I was on the draw, I think I would keep this. On the play, it's not good enough. 56% to just have it land on turn 1. And if I was on the draw, it would be already in this 60 to 70% range. Then it would be something that you can consider keeping. Yeah, 70% if I'm on the draw. Okay, I think I'll mulligan, but it is tempting. But it's more like I need 2 lands in the top 4 cards of my library or something. There's just too much to ask for from a 0 land 7 card hand. Okay, and that's also good. So now do I want to preordain? I probably want to cash one of them in. Keeping them in hand is actually a consideration because it makes your Kiln Fiend turns a lot better. Moin. So now I kind of just want 0 mana spells and Battle Rage, though the second preordain also helps. I guess in my main deck I don't have any like Dispel, Dive Down type cards yet, so tapping out for Kiln Fiend is actually the best that I can do with it. And then on my turn 3 I'm going to be pretty short on blue mana. So I think getting the second preordain into my hand just makes my chances for a nut draw worse. Yeah, like Text and Probe is already much better for me, though facing a Disfigure Trainer's Edict type deck here would be pretty awful for me. Because I only have 1 piece of protection here. Okay, my opponent didn't do anything though. Please just like... No, not that. I was gonna say Dusk Legion Zealot or something. That would be my dream. Fire one of these off, both to give me some info and to have the chance of casting a 2-drop here. Yeah, this does not look like a very beatable hand for my game 1 configuration. Because I have no ways of protecting my creatures whatsoever. I think I'll fetch first and then preordain or something. But I just need to run a creature into Victim of Night and then run out another creature that I can win with. That is going to be my plan. So this Kiln Fiend has to be part of that plan. But I assume I just need my Gushes once again, otherwise I won't come up with enough cards. Unless my opponent does something stupid involving like sign and blooding themselves first and then trying to cast Victim of Night into my daze. That could save me. Yeah. Or like trying to Shittering Rest me here instead of killing my Kiln Fiend. Then they have 2 blockers on the board, but I can like Text and Probe, Mutagenic Growth into a Teemo Battle Rage and win from there. Or even just daze the Shittering Reds is a possibility. Yeah. I think I'm doing that. That already gives me like a full card worth of value. Because it doesn't cost me my draw step, and then I have to find Teemo Battle Rage in the top 2 cards of my library now. Gosh, yes. I like to see that, because I pretty much have to go all in on this turn anyways, and then this gives me 2 more draws and a free spell. Even though I end up with a completely ruined board position. Yeah, because letting them untap Victim of Night mean then they have Oubliette as an extra kill spell, and that just seems too devastating for me to deal with. Come on, Better Rage. I'll accept Cantrip into Better Rage. I can try and overload their movement now by playing the Cyclops, but I think that's worse. Worst case, I just cast Spellweaver Eternal, but I think I just want to kill them here. Better Rage, yes, there we go. There we go. Take 40. Yeah, that was pretty fortunate for me that they cast their Shivering Hands instead of the Victim of Night. And this is the matchup for Eldrazi Skyspawners. Presumably. If they're not coming in here, they're never coming in, so... nope. Nope. Dive Down seem good. And Dispels I'm not sure about, because they don't hit Oubliette and they don't hit Deadweight, don't hit Chainer's Edict, but they do help against Victim of Night and Tendrils of Corruption. There's definitely targets, but they're kinda few and far between. Probably these Spellweavers are coming. Maybe I do want all of the threats in this matchup actually and be less of a glass cannon. I want to try out that plan at least once before I like never do it. Okay, Vapor Snakes are coming out. Though I guess I'm in trouble against Kombaji Witches then as well. If I have like 8 1-toughness creatures in my deck and my opponent just plays a pinger. That doesn't seem great actually. Yeah, I kind of feel like these are worse than Stormbound Geists, which is the other card that could replace them. The big upside they have is that they can't be Pyroblasted because they're devoid. But yeah, in the Crypt Dreads, Kombaji Witches, Pestilence matchup, having a 1-toughness creature instead of a 2-toughness flyer that comes back as a 3-toughness flyer is just a lot worse for us. Yeah, I think I'll throw these out and then have a pretty clean sideboard plan here. But I'm not too happy about it. Marcus Magic, thank you for your follow. Oh, and Jusam Jin resubscribed also. Thank you for your resubscription. No idea why that didn't show up as an alert earlier. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And there we go. So now the Eldrazi Skyspawn gets its time to shine. Hopefully. Gonna keep this. It's a little slow, but second Better Rage also not that great here. I'm kind of missing the ability to have Brainstorm. Because as soon as you end up with a card that you don't want in your hand, there's no way for this deck to ever get rid of unwanted cards. Obviously Brainstorm gets worse if you don't have Augur of Bolas, because with Augur you could put your mediocre card and a spell that you want to reveal on top of your deck together, and then you get rid of one of them and put the other back into your hand, so it's kind of a shuffle of sorts. I'm playing Two-Headed Giant on Sunday morning, and I don't think I'm playing any of the individual events. At least I hadn't planned to yet. I forgot who you are in real life, Sarah, but yeah. I assume you're from my hometown as well if you're asking that. Bottom, I think. The dive down is a little bit useful to protect my Kiln Fiend, but I do just need to hit my third land drop first, cast this, maybe bait a removal spell out of my opponent's hand and then try protecting this later. Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing Two-Headed Giant with Alex. Okay. I mean, this does provide me with a trigger for the Kiln Fiend on the combo turn, but I do already have a ton of damage potential going here, so I think I can afford to throw this away pre-combo to see what my opponent's working with. Trainer's Edict, Disfigured, Grasp of Darkness. That is a lot of removal and not a lot of action. The good news is their removal is not that great against my Sky Spawner. I mean, they can kill the Sky Spawner very easily, but I get to keep the Scion to deal with their Trainer's Edict. And land is exactly what I wanted to see. It's even the perfect land because it allows me to gush. Now these Sky Spawners in the sideboard, and if you want to check out my deck list, you can type !deck list in the chat and then it shows you. And yeah, this is game 2 of the match. We won game 1 in pretty lucky fashion because my opponent decided to run Chittering Rats into Daze instead of killing my creature, and then they get punished. That's a little unfortunate, but sure. I mean, I have protection against Disfigured here, I have protection against Trainer's Edict. Now I only need something to deal with Grasp of Darkness. Now I would want the dive down back, so maybe I should have just kept it, but finding the third land on that turn was actually incredibly important. Okay, not casting Disfigure, so I do get some chip damage in here. Island Preordain. Don't think I want the island. Preordain seems alright to help me find protection. Hello Vaikusti. Versus Edict. Yeah, I boarded it in versus Edict, though I think it's a little bit questionable that it dies to Kumbaji Witches. Both the Scion and the original Sky Spawner die to Kumbaji Witches, so in this matchup it's not even the greatest Edict protection that you can have. Don't want the mountain. Sky Spawners. I don't know. It depends. If my opponent just follows up with like a Pestilence or something, then it's pretty awful. Yeah, I think I want to bottom and just look for dive down. If I bounce 2 lands, I go to 9 cards in hand, play a land 8 cards in hand, then I'm discarding to hand size. It allows me to make my land drop and cast this Ponder. So it's a little bit of a tempo gain. Yeah, I think I can do that. Because double Teemo Battery is already more than I need, so I'm kinda willing to throw Teemo Battery under the bus. Or I keep my Sky Spawner alive here, then I'm also not discarding to hand size. That seems alright as well. Now I'm slowly losing my damage potential for when I resolve Kiln Fiend. Okay, considering I now have 2, I can just run it out and get the Grasp of Darkness out of my opponent's hand. No, Strongbound Gas doesn't die to Kumbaji Witches. And yeah, Mono Black control is not very popular. It's also not very good, but it is very good against my deck. Because they're just mono removal. Okay, Grasp of Darkness, dead weight. Okay, fair enough. And the Trainer's Edict. They're still 2 mana away from flashing it back though, so it's not guaranteed they have another. Cyclops is nice. Days is also not that awful. But yeah, then I'm low on spells to trigger my Kiln Fiend and Cyclops with if I'm only going Gush into Teemo Better Rage. Though I guess my opponent's already kind of low on life as well. So I think I just want both of these. The Daze might not end up working out. But maybe I can even Daze my own Teemo Better Rage on the combo turn and pay for it as another prowess trigger. Can get Grey Merchant of Asphodel here. Okay, no longer. I could counter the Trainer's Edict though if they pay 7 for it to flash it back. That is definitely a possibility. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. Be a little bit patient here and wait for the turn that they Trainer's Edict me. And then they Trainer's Edict, I Daze, and then they are tapped out, I untap and win. That seems to be a good plan. Unless my opponent draws multiple instant speed removal spells in a row here, then it could backfire. Interesting. How would you not Chainers here? I guess they can have like 1/10 of corruption or something that they really want to keep open, and then whichever creature I Teemo Better Rage on they shoot down. That would make some sense. Dive down would be amazing here. Am I willing to do that? I can even wait a turn and just Evolving Wilds for the second red source. Yeah, that seems better. Because second red source allows me to cast both of the Better Rages in the same turn, so then I target each of my creatures once. And just kill them after they kill one of my creatures. If they Trainer's Edict me now, that looks a lot like they're ghosting me. What the hell? Should still work out for me because my hand is pretty great at beating this, but that is kind of surprising to me. Because their line of play just didn't make a lot of sense without knowing my hand, but it made a lot of sense against the Daze. They're even on 1 card in hand, so it's not guaranteed that they get to make their 8th land drop if they wait on the Daze. Yeah, very strange. I think now I can't really lose anymore. Spooky. What are they called? Scepter 53. My Twitch chat user page isn't even loading. I don't see their name, but a lot of people are smart enough to not use their name when they're ghosting. I don't know. That looked very strange. If they have a Disfigure in hand or something, it makes a little bit... No. Even then it doesn't make sense, because then they would have disfigured my Kiln Fiend first and then flashed back Trainer's Edict to get rid of the Cyclops. So I think there's like no way to explain this other than them respecting Daze. So either they have to respect the Daze that they didn't know about from, like they saw it in the previous game but they don't know that I have it in hand, which seems pretty sketchy in the situation that they were in, or they were ghosting me. Well, let's kill them for it though. The board wasn't at all stable though. If they pass, it makes sense if they do have like a tendrils of corruption in hand. As I said earlier, that is a reasonable explanation for what they were doing, because then the 1 removal spell that they keep open can actually beat 2 of my creatures, or at least prevent most of my combo kills. No, I'm not saying it's necessarily clear cut, because they could even decide to just play around Daze that they don't know about. That's a real possibility. It's not too unreasonable to just play around Daze. Just saying it's a little bit suspicious. But yeah, who knows? What the hell?